Hello everyone, this is Sensei Marco coming at you with some more karate on the spot. Sensei Marco, by the way, from the Center for Martial Arts in Richmond Hill. Let's start off nice and simply. We're going to move from last week into this week. Last week, or rather last class, we were doing a lot of kicks, so our 3 basic kicks. We're going to continue with that, strengthening our legs, but we're also going to move into some Kihon, mainly stances, but we'll have some hand work too. Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to start warming up. Just pick one knee up, other knee up, foot comes nice and high. Notice my foot's going to the opposite corner, tilting it in, almost like I'm trying to get that hand right out of the way. Okay, 8, up, right in front of me, 6, 7, 8, and open, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's start with a bit of a warm-up that's going to combine the Kihon stance drill that we'll be doing today with our kicks from our last class. Okay? So we're going to start off in a kiba dachi, right? Heels on the outside, just on the outside of our knees, feet forward, hips tilted back, back is nice and straight. So from the side again, I don't have my hips tilted forward with that curve in my back. I'm tilting my hips in, and you're really going to feel your quads fire off and feel nice and active. Your back should be straight. Okay? So in that kiba dachi, hands are up, and we're going to go 1, up, maigeri, and back down. 2, and back down. Good. 3, 4, and 5. Let's do 5 more together, and I'm just going to face this direction so you can see that kick and get a nice look at my height while I do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, I hope you've done all 10 with me. Keep it at you here. And we're going to go basic middle level punches. So notice my arm is a little bit bent, knuckles come right to my solar plexus, my elbow comes right back to my rib, this forearm has dragged across my rib the whole time. They meet in the center, and at that last second when my hand is about to twist, so does my punching hand. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go double punch for 5. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Okay? From here, we're going to go jodan, high level, right to the face, chudan, middle level, into geidan, low level. Give you a little break. Pick your knee up, shake one foot, shake the other. We're going to drop right back down. Okay. So down here in your kiba dachi, right or left hand up to jodan tsuki, high level punch. Ready? Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. And one more. Ich, ni, san. Let's go all 3 punches, 1 count. Ready? Ich, ni, san. Really make sure your hands are landing in the right spots before you do the next one. Shi, and go. Nice. Come on up. Deep breaths. Let's get into a nice line drill, but rather than moving straight forward, because most of us don't have the space, we're going to move forward and back in short little spurts. So we're going to start off right leg back, geidan barai. If you take a look at my feet in relation to my shoulders, front foot directly under my front shoulder, opposite shoulder, straight line down to my opposite foot. The outside edge of my foot is straight, so not the inside edge, because I don't need my knee going forward. I'm going to turn that foot in just enough that you can really feel your feet planked and root yourself, almost as though they're trying to push the floor tiles away from each other. Okay? So you step back, geidan barai, low level sweep, low block. Step forward, oitsuki. Okay? Ready? Ich, Ni. Ich. Ni. Ich. Ni. Ich. Ni. Nice. And back. Opposite side, nice and easy. So step back. I have to move this out of my way. Again, I check. Right? Bang, boom, perfect. Step back, low level block. Step forward. Oitsuki, that timing is everything. So inhale as you're moving, exhale as your foot hits and your block is executed. Ich, ni, ich, ni, ich, ni, ich, ni. Nice. And come on back. Okay? Let's go right back to the very first one we did. First leg back, but this time one count, bang, boom. So it's going to be each, 1, 2. Half speed, ni, san, shi, and go. And back. Same thing, other side. 1 count, 2 moves. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, and go. So pay attention to my breathing, right? The timing of your loose inhale as you're moving. And as your foot lands, as your punch or your block, whatever the strike is about to be executed, there's a forced exhale where your core tightens up, everything around that punch tightens up, or that block tightens up, your lat, your tricep pull together. Let's switch that block up. 1, soto uki, zenkutsu dachi, and back. Okay? Nice and easy. Ich, and back. Ni, and back. San, and back. Let's do our right side, or the opposite side. So chamber, elbow up, hand turned out slightly. I've grabbed in front of me, I slide in, and on the land, I rock my hip forward, bring my elbow around, and that last little bit of kime is a twist of the wrist and a tighten. And back, 2, and back, 3, and back, 4, and back, and 5. And now let's take a look at this from the side. Right? So my elbow is basically a fist and a half away from my lower rib. Right? My knuckles are shoulder height, and I really want to feel as though my tricep and my lat are pulling in together. Nobody should be able to get up underneath your armpit. Okay? So 1, and back. 2, and back. 3 is going to be step back left side. Bang. And 4. So notice I've switched that block. I've got 1, outside block to the front. 2, outside block, opposite side. 3, we're gonna step back and let's switch the feet up. Boom. And 4, bang, inside block. Okay? Let's play a quick little game of this. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Easy. A little faster. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And pull. Let's mess it up a bit. Ready? I won't say it. You copy. let's move on to a drill we can do on the spot with our kokutsu dachi, so our back stance, right? I'm gonna move over a little bit so I have room for that foot. And what we're basically gonna do is drop into that first kokutsu dachi that you would see in Heian Nidan, right through to Heian Godan. All of the katas start with a nice sink as you turn those hips, you bend that back knee, and you let your front foot out. Now if you notice that nice little slant, foot right to the side, my other toes are just behind my heel, and I'll show you that in a second, but they're pointed in the direction that I'm looking, and then I'm gonna pull that hip back a little bit as I sink into this knee. So it should almost feel like this hip is being pulled into that foot that's acting as my main support. And I'm gonna slide back up. So it looks like this. 1, bang, and back up. 2, and let that heel pivot out if it needs to, and back up. 3, and back up. 4, and back up, and 5. Okay. Notice I drop into that stance and I lock. I don't bounce, I don't wobble back, and that means sinking into the stance and tightening up your quads. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to move over if I need the room. I'm going to sink into that knee as I turn my hips, and then I continue to sink straight down, and my foot comes out. And again, don't let this heel turn out. Turn it in, so there's that bit of a slant, pull the hip in. Okay? And hold it there for a second. Remember how that feels, so that you can come up, and when you drop back into it, it feels familiar. Ready? 2, and back up. 3, and back up. 4, and back up. And always make those little adjustments. 5. So for instance, that little turn of your heel if you need to. If it's too wide, working that foot in. If you need to pull that hip back or sink more into your back knee, work that. Things to look out for when you're dropping into your kokutsu dachi. I'll do it from this side. I don't want my foot landing too wide, so you have that nice wide tunnel. Remember, they're pretty much in line with each other, your heels, right? I slide my foot back and it comes right behind my heel. I see some people do heels together. I'm gonna teach it this way, okay? Another thing you wanna make sure is that when you drop into that stance, you don't have your front toes turned in so that your knee starts to wobble in. Or you don't want your back foot to pivot out so that all of that weight that's meant to be stopped by your back foot and hip bends right into your knee. Okay. Let's do 5 more on each side. And I'm going to turn so that you can see my alignment from the side, my back, and that tuck. Ready? 1. Right, my hips are turned to a 45. My back foot has turned out, right to the side, front toes in the right direction. And if I were to slide that foot back, right behind my back heel. Okay? Let's do that again. Feet are in line, knees are bent, I'm ready, back is straight, 2. And come back up. 3 more, 3. That might be a bit wide. Okay? Turn that heel out, and back up. 4. So again, check, are your knees bent? Is this leg perfectly straight? Or is it still nice and sunk? Are your toes to the side? Are your front toes in the right direction? And while I've been saying all this, are you still trying to sink into your stance? Or did you do one of these? 2 more. 4. And tight, 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 tight. Notice my hips are tilted in, not back. See that? Tuck. And then when you do tuck, watch that your knee doesn't wobble in. Should be in line with your hip and shoulder. And last one. 5. Check. Tucked. Knee in line, toes to the front, toes to the side. Feet are in line with each other. Back is straight. And back up. Let's turn, face the other direction. Last 5. Ready? 1. And back. 2. Ooh, turn that heel. Sink. Pull the hip. Back up. 3. And back up. 4. And back up. And 5. Ooh, a little bit short on my hand. There you go. And then I can really sink. Okay? And check. Knee in line with the toes. Toes are forward. Back toes to the side. Back leg has a bit of a tilt to it, but like a kickstand, and my glutes are not sticking out. They're tucked. With a nice straight back. Nice. Let's move on to our final drill. All right, so this final drill, I'm gonna scaffold it for you. I'm gonna build you up to it. You're familiar with the very first bit of it, and it's something that's meant to work your transition from kokutsu dachi, your back stance where your feet are in line, into zenkutsu dachi where you have a nice hip or shoulder width between your feet. So you're used to this first part. It looks like this. Shuto uki in kokutsu dachi. Shuffle that foot over as you close your hip and rock that back leg nice and straight, or the heel out. Bit of a bend in the knee is okay. And from there, that hip has been shot forward, so your gyakutsuki, your reverse punch, comes forward. Okay? Let's do that one more time. So it's 1, 2, reverse punch, and 3 is going to be right back to your kokutsu dachi, feet in line. The most important part here, what I really want you working on, is this transition. So if you need to, you can pause, and you're going to do this 5 times. So you're going to go kokutsu dachi, sorry for that wobble, zenkutsu dachi, kokutsu dachi, okay? And back. Kokutsu, back stance, zenkutsu, front stance, a little bit wide on my part, kokutsu, back stance. Okay? And don't worry about what your hands are doing. You can put them behind your back, on your hips, on your head, doesn't really matter. Okay? So let's go back to our drill. We're going to go 1, kokutsu, zenkutsu, kokutsu, and back. Then we're going to switch our feet. 2, kokutsu, zenkutsu with that reverse punch, kokutsu with your shuto. We're going to come back. Okay? So let's move back to our left side. 1, half speed. 1, 2, 3, and back. Other side. 2, 1, 2, 3, and back. Other side. 3, 1, 2, 3, and back. Other side. 4, 1, 2, 3, and back. And 5, 1, 2, 3. Notice when I did that, my head didn't bob up and down. My legs aren't straightening and then sinking. I'm not going bouncing back and forth. I'm going 1, 2, 3. Head stays relatively at the same height. Okay? If you want, you can rewind and try that again so it feels a little bit more fluid for you. But otherwise, let's move on by adding one last bit. Okay, so let's take that drill that we were just using and we're going to add one final piece. So count 1 is going to be all 3 of those moves. Remember, if that's difficult for you, 1 count, all 3 moves, pause again, go back. Keep using that shuto, gyaku, shuto, and that can be your lesson for today. Come back to this when you feel like you can really handle that 4th count. So it's going to be 1, shuto, gyaku, shuto, 2, double punch, straight down, and maybe I'll shift that. So just going over this one more time, from the 1, 2, 3, I'm going to pivot my back heel into shiko dachi. So from my kokutsu dachi, I should be able to just turn my back heel in, and you'll end up in that shiko dachi, but a bit angled. And from here, we're just going to pull back and double punch. Okay? So half speed to start. 1, 2. Back. And let's do the other side. And feel free to take a step back because you may start moving forward. 2, 1, 2, 3, and 2. Heel in, straight down and back. And in a shiko dachi, you can feel free to curve that back out. Okay? And come back up. Let's move a little bit quicker and back to our left side, or whichever side you've started with. Ready? Ich. Knee. And back. And moving back. Other side. Knee. And back. Sun. And back. Shi. And back. And I'm going to do the last few in this direction so you can really see that shift into shiko dachi. 1. And watch. So from here, hip comes in, heel pivots in, hip comes down with my 2 punches. And then I step back. Let's do that again. Same side. 2. Heel, in, punch when it lands. And back. And last one. A little bit quicker. Ready? 3. And back. And now let's do this side. 3 of them. Ready? Each. Back heel in, and in when that heel lands. And back. Same side. 2 more times. 2. And back. And last one. And I'll turn this way. Same side. 3. And back. And all right, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed our lesson number 2, Kihon stances, and some basic hand techniques to go with them. Remember, if that wasn't enough for you, if you are not as sweaty as Sensei is, or as out of breath as Sensei is, try your best to do it again, but also the second time around, really engage your breathing, right? Inhale as you're moving, strong exhale with a tightening, engaging your core and all of those muscles when you actually land that technique. And you'll see it's going to take a lot more out of you, and it's probably better that you do these lessons twice anyway. Okay? Stay tuned for more information, because next week I'm going to be going over some kata. So if you're interested in making any requests for a kata that I should be going over, please get in touch with me on Instagram, on YouTube, or by email or phone. Okay?